Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Vauxhall Vivaro van build part 16. Today in this video we're going to cover a couple of items which are maintenance to the Vauxhall Vivaro. One of them being the bulbs to the dashboard, which always go, and the other part of the maintenance is the air filter. You would have noticed in the opening credits to this video a conversion which actually was inspired by me but not actually built by me. And next week we're going to take a detailed look at that van and also help the person who owns the van on a couple of jobs that needs doing. So remember to watch that for next week. One of the main or many jobs that will need doing on the Vauxhall Vivaro is actually your air filter. And that's what I'm going to change today. Just a quick note, this is your MAF sensor, MAFF sensor. These can be quite problematic, and if you do have to change these, you'll find that you'll have to change it if your engine is becoming sluggish, losing power. Generally, these MAF sensors, it would be best to buy a proper OEM part. So what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to remove this pipe, the airflow pipe. I'm going to take the cover off and I'm going to replace the air filter. Let's get on with it. First of all, I'm going to use the socket and just undo the MAF sensor pipe as well as this little clip on the back there. Hopefully you can see it. So all you need to do is just give that a little press and just gently pull that off. There you go. So that's your pin plug. So you've undone this and now this should slide off as well. There you go, and just move that out the way so it doesn't impede what you're actually doing. Okay, so now we're going to take off the T25 little bolts here, which are around, and then we'll be able to lift out and get access to your air filter. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually pretty easy to get access to your air filter. Let's have a look at what this one looks like. Okay, it's actually not too bad. It's a little bit grubby, but it's actually not that bad at all. So let's take that off. What I'm now going to do is just give this area a little clean, just to keep everything nice and tidy. Just want to go through a couple of things with you that may go wrong with your Vauxhall Vivaro. Here, I hope you can see that. That is the booster solenoid, and that generally will go. It's very easy to change. And like I said, get the OEM parts and they will be a lot better. Over here, like I said, I've mentioned the MAF sensor to you. And then you also have another booster solenoid or a booster. This can also go wrong, and again it's very simple to change, and again make sure you get the correct part number that is suited to your vehicle. There's a number on it. Sometimes it's good to take it in, but also your registration will also tell the dealership what part you actually need. So that's the booster solenoid over here, if you can see, yeah, and also the MAF sensor. They're the main areas, and as you can see, that was very easy to actually take off the air filter. I've already had a new oil change and filter, so that's done. Another area which can go wrong over here is the electric solenoid, I think they call it. Not 100% sure what that's called, but that also can corrode and go wrong. So just keep an eye on that one as well. Make sure obviously water is up to the maximum. I'm not actually on quite level ground here, so it's actually showing, I'm going backwards a little bit, so it's not actually showing up to the max. Also your brake reservoir, make sure the cap's on tight and make sure that there's a good level in there as well. Obviously your timing chain's down here. That is a bigger job, and I always recommend that if it's done over 120,000 miles, I would definitely change it. Now a lot of people are talking about chains, they last forever. Yeah, you take the chance. Yep, go on the forums, but you will find that quite a few people have actually had their chains snapped, and if the chain snaps, then it's a new engine. So generally new chain with a water pump as well will set you back around about £400 to £500. I think it's worth it, better than a replacement of an engine. So yeah, that's that. Also your alternator, which is down the far bottom there, I don't know whether you can see that, that's right at the front. Very difficult to get to, just down there. They can also go as well. Your alternator, generally if you've got a split charger as well, that may affect the condition of it. So that. The next one is your pollen filter, which is actually under here, and it clips out, quite simply clips out on these little clips here. Don't know whether you can see that. There you go, there's some clips there. That actually needs changing, and I'm going to get a new pollen filter as well. I'll go down to the local dealer and get that as well. That doesn't need to be an OEM part actually. Okay, so another job which requires doing on this Vauxhall Vivaro, and it was actually the same on my older vehicle, is that the little bulbs in this dashboard here for your heater and your fan, they always go. They're tiny little bulbs. There they are. I bought them this morning, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart now and I'm going to replace the bulbs. First of all, you're going to take out these T20s screws here and on the other side. Let's see how we get on with that. And exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so once you've removed the screws, that should quite simply just pop out. There you go, just like so. Now be very careful when you take this out, because you've also got here the hazard light switch, and you don't want to be breaking that. Okay, so down here you've now got another four or five little T20 screws, and you're going to take them out. Okay, so I lied, there were actually 3 screws, and that should just pop out. There you go. Okay, so we're at the back panel now. We've pulled that out, and what you're looking for are these little scrub screws here, and they just twist anti-clockwise. There's one here, it's marked with blue and blue, so make sure you put it back on there. And then the other one, make sure that you put the dial on the heater up to full, and then you can get access to that little grub screw there as well, which houses the lamp. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, so once you put your screws back in, exactly the same, just make sure that you don't catch this cable anywhere. Make sure it's away from the mechanism. There you go, just out of the way. And then you'll notice that you've got some little clips here that will then clip in at the front here. Okay, so I've put the screws back in, everything's back to normal, and your dials are there. Turn that back down because I don't need the heating on. It's nice and warm today. And those lights are now working. So the little bulbs, 2 little bulbs, just replace them. Bob's your uncle. Done.